Part 3. That is what the vegetables look like. Very charred. That is what they look like. Very charred at the 15-minute process. Sorry folks, you'll be seeing that in 3 parts. But yeah, that's what they look like right there. Okay? So let's get to the blending process. Remember, the vegetables are hot, so you want to pick them up with either a fork or a tongue like this one, so that you don't burn your hands. So pick it up with a fork or a tongue and put the vegetables in the blender. Okay? Just like so. By the way, let me show you what a good nice char on the vegetable looks like. Hold on, let me see if I can get that a little bit better. That's a good nice char on this bell pepper right here. Just trying to get the best angle there. But that's a good, y'all can see the steam coming off that bell pepper, right? That is a good nice char. That means it's going to taste real good. Drop that back in the blender. Let's take a look at the red one. That's the red one, and how charred it is and how good it looks. And you can even tell by the juice on it that it's already sweet. It's already sweet. Let's take a look at the tomatoes here. Hold on. Don't want anything dripping on the counter. Let's take a look at the charredness of the tomato and see how good the tomatoes look. Nice and soft and sweet and juicy. Let's put the rest of them in. Now you can see that's a good thing I didn't cut the 3rd bell pepper because the blender is already full. Blender is already full with just 2 bell peppers and the tomato. Bell peppers, the blender is already full. Okay, now I'm going to take what's left of my half brewed coffee, because I need another coffee pot, or just a pot. Just a pot itself, that's all I need. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that liquid to the tomato. Okay? And then, now I'm going to season it. Let's season it up. So let's start with the allspice. Let's start with the allspice. Half a tablespoonful allspice seasoning. Okay? Let's bring you in this way so y'all can see me put the seasoning in. Alright? Let's go in with the cayenne pepper. Even a lot less than a half a tablespoonful, like a teaspoonful of cayenne pepper. That's it. And then you want some curry powder in there, and you want about a third of a tablespoonful right there. Drop your curry in the blender. Okay? And then, before I put the spoon away, I'm gonna add some sugar, alright? And I'm gonna add about 3 tablespoons of sugar. 3 tablespoons of sugar, and I'm gonna do a hit the road, Jack. Don't wanna come back no more, no more, no more, no Hello, Jack. Like I always do. Alright? So, I'm gonna cover the blender with the top, okay? Then I'm going to try and do that like so. Bring the blender in like so. Oh, I didn't put any salt. I didn't put any salt. Let's add the salt. A little bit of salt would do. Hold on. Just a little bit of salt, just like so. Okay? Salt. Okay? Alright. Now you can see in the blender there, right? Let me bring you up close. It be looking like I put some strawberry juice in there or some cherry juice. That's just the coffee and the bell pepper and the tomatoes mixed in together. Okay? I didn't put no strawberry in there. I didn't put no bell peppers in there. I didn't put none of that red in there except for the bell pepper. I didn't put none of that. Only thing red in there is the bell pepper and the tomato. The juice is the coffee. So, what's the dominant color there? Dominant color is red because it's turning coffee red. That's the dominant color right there. The dominant color in this case is red. Okay? So we're gonna put it on number 3 because I want it to be a little bit smooth, but I also want it to be thick. I'm So that right there is the perfect texture with this blender that I want. That right there is perfect. Now, let's taste it. Let's taste that. Cut the crap, motherfucker. Cut the crap, motherfucker. Cut the crap, motherfucker. Cut the crap. Amen. Cut the crap and amen. Nicely done. Nicely done. I could eat this just as is myself. Alright? I could eat this like soup. It actually tastes like blended vegetable soup right now. I could eat this just as is. I could drink it from the blender and be satisfied, but Tim, you might not be able to get any later on tonight. Sorry. And it's the perfect amount to get me a full jar. Like, it's a good thing I did not add the last bell pepper. The perfect amount that gets me a full jar. So, Tim, if I don't throw this in the freezer to block myself, you might not see this later, okay? You might not see this later. I'm just saying. Perfect. Perfect. I might get a C- in having the visuals, but not being able to produce it because I'll be cleaned up myself properly. Is that good? Anyways, with that being said, thank you so much to Eastside Marios for sponsoring today's video. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!